On tonight's episode of MAFS, another violent, vile, toxic man with anger issues and a possible toupee was exposed. But before we get into it, if you love my reviews, hit that follow button and let's do this every night together. The episode kicked off with Carina explaining what transpired last night. Apparently, her, Paul, Jeff and Ree were all out to dinner. On the way home, they were riding in a cab, some song came on the radio, and it was a rapper. Carina said that she had actually slept with this rapper previously. Everyone laughed, thinking it was a bit funny, but when they got home, Paul was enraged. He threw a tantrum like a big baby man-child, and Carina tried to comfort him. It then cut to Paul, who was crying and blubbering and carrying on like a man who knew he was about to get crucified by the nation. And for those playing at home, don't worry, I prepared my cross earlier. This was Paul. I just lost my nerves. She couldn't give me my space. And then I punched a hole in the wall. Yup. Paul punched a hole in a wall because Carina, God forbid, had a sex life prior to their relationship. Oh, not a woman being sexually empowered. Are you okay, Paul? Quick, someone, get Paul a tissue and a ticket back to France. Carina said that things escalated quickly. She was shocked, she was scared, she left the apartment and they slept separately. We then saw more footage of Paul crying like a pathetic loser. Carina said that the behavior was unacceptable and she wouldn't tolerate it. However, she wasn't scared of him. This episode was a genuinely tough watch. Carina said that she wanted to speak to him and hear what he had to say. Paul then entered the room, crying again like a piss-weak child. Carina said that she'd been really worried about him, wondering when she was going to be able to see him and speak to him. Paul said that he hadn't slept all night, and then he promised that he would never do that again. And here we have the cycle of abuse unfolding before our eyes. Carina said that she didn't understand his outburst. She had been really calm, she'd been apologetic. Paul said that he felt so angry and disrespected and like an idiot and like he was being ripped up inside because Carina was saying, "I'm sorry, but..." She had a but at the end of her sorry. Therefore, he couldn't take her apology seriously because there was always a but. He then said that Carina wouldn't give him his space, and so he punched a hole in their bedroom door. Carina was like, I don't agree with what you're saying. I don't agree with your account of these events. And he goes, "Oh, what? So I punched a hole out of thin air?" Yes, that is precisely what you did. See what he's doing here? Victim blaming, changing the narrative. It's all Carina's fault because, she didn't give him space. Carina ended up forgiving him for his actions because she said that everything in their relationship up until that point was wonderful. The honeymoon phase in an abusive relationship, often referred to as love bombing, in its early stages is a period of excessive affection, grand gestures, and overwhelming attention designed to create intense emotional dependency. This phase can feel intoxicating, making the victim believe they've found their perfect match. The abuser showers them with compliments, gifts, and promises of a future together, often moving the relationship forward at a lightning speed. "I've never felt this way before. We're soulmates. Let's move in together." This stage is crucial for the abuser as it sets the hook. The victim feels special, adored, and secure, making them less likely to recognize or resist the manipulation that follows. Meanwhile, Jackie was angry at Ree for throwing shade on her at the commitment ceremony. Jackie strongly felt that this was a crime against humanity. Adrian and Awhina have been separated since the disturbing events that transpired at the family and friends lunch. And good, because Awhina is not safe. Farquaad and Veronica were getting ready for the dinner party in separate rooms. Farquaad went over to Veronica's room to try and smooth things over, and Veronica was like, I don't appreciate you coming in here and inciting an argument. You need to leave. So he left, but on his way out, he was like, okay, enjoy your last dinner party. Burn! Jackie and Ryan were the first to arrive at the dinner party. They were all loved up because Jackie hasn't cried in 4 days. TJ and Beth arrived next, followed by Jamie, Dave, and the girls. Farquaad entered solo, followed by loved up Rhea and Jeff. Scum of the Earth then entered solo, hopefully because there's a restraining order in place. He wasted no time in poisoning the minds of anyone who would listen. He explained his version of events, aka the inaccurate version. He goes, so at the family and friends lunch, my family came in and they asked Awhina for her side. And then Cleo came in and she just started screaming at me, bro. She was going off at me screaming, bro. Awhina needs to acknowledge her sister's actions. Awhina then walked in and Scum of the Earth immediately dragged her away for a chat. And he was like, listen, Awhina, I don't really want to bring up family and friends because, family and friends are involved. And Awhina was like, Scum, did I not just hear you talking about what happened at family and friends? He denied it, of course. And she was like, why are you allowed to talk about it, but I'm not allowed to talk about it? Allow me to explain what was going on here. So essentially, Adrian had just completed a smear campaign, which is a very common tactic abusers use to discredit their victims. Smear campaigns, destroying the victim's reputation. If an abuser suspects the victim might expose them, they go on the offensive first, spreading lies to discredit the victim before they can speak. They're unstable and making things up. They've always been a liar. They're just doing this for attention. Why it works? When the victim finally speaks up, people are already conditioned not to believe them. Abusers rely on power and control to keep their victims silent, compliant, and trapped in their version of reality. They use a range of psychological manipulation tactics to discredit victims, isolate them from support, and make them question their own experiences. This ensures that if the victim ever speaks out, their truth is distorted, dismissed, or outright denied. So to summarize, Adrian had just executed a smear campaign, and then he was trying to silence Awhina before she could get a chance to give her truth. I've run out of time. Go to part 2.